Charles Vallow was a man with enemies, not just his wife, but his wife's brother and his wife's lover as well. Tonight we're going to take a look at a series of phone calls that show Charles's growing concern over what Lori was up to, and then the cold-blooded selfishness after his death of the people that caused it. Hi everyone, I'm Chris from Guilty Words, where we unravel crime one word at a time. Thanks for joining me tonight. We're going to take a look at 4 phone calls related to the death of Charles Vallow. The first is Charles himself in March of 2019 when he calls his insurance company and finds out that Lori has locked him out of the account. The second is Alex's 911 call, then Chad's call to the funeral home, and finally Lori's call to the insurance company to place the claim for Charles's $1 million life insurance policy. Let's take a look at all these calls together and see what conclusions we can draw. Our first call is Charles Vallow calling his life insurance agency. He's calling to change his beneficiary from Lori to his sister Kay. However, when he calls, he realizes Lori has instituted a password on the account without his permission, and he can't gain access. As he explains to the rep what's going on, listen to his tone of voice, the frustration, the anger, and underneath, fear. This call takes place in March of 2019. Charles lost his life in July of 2019.
Okay, somebody else has called onto my account. That's fraud.
I don't know, sir. I mean, that's the thing is that I don't know.
I do know. I haven't called in on this policy in a long time.
Yeah, if you have concerns about that, then you need to supply some form of proof or something. But yeah, that's I'll be able to do that. But you can request request in writing.
My wife left me 30 days ago. She's taken a ton of my money. I don't know what she's doing on this account, but it's fraud. I'm the guy. I'm Charles Vallow. I'm the insured and the owner of the policy. Correct? And I need to know what to do right now today to change my beneficiary to my sister.
His surprise and frustration is obvious. He had no idea the password had been added, but he instantly knows who it was. And though part of this call is trimmed off, he finds out how to start an investigation, and I'm hoping during the trial we find out more about what happened with that. He also mentioned that Lori had left him 30 days before and had taken a lot of money from him. And he wants an immediate change. He wants to change things today, as if he suspects something is going to happen. And unfortunately, he was right. Our second call in our timeline is Alex calling 911 after he shot Charles Vallow. He's ostensibly calling for an ambulance and the police, although it's too late for an ambulance. And the problem he has is explaining what happened and pretending to do CPR. I've edited this call for time. You'll also notice there's 3 different operators speaking to him from the police, the fire department, and the regular 911 operator. Pay attention to how absolutely calm, almost cheerful he is, and the amount of explanation he gives as to what happened.
911, where is your emergency?
It's at 5531 South 4 Peaks.
You need police or paramedics?
Both. I'm in police and an ambulance.
What's the emergency there?
I got in a fight with my brother-in-law and I shot him in self-defense.
And is he hurt or is he alive or?
Yeah, there's blood. He's not moving.
How long ago did this happen?
A couple of minutes.
And what is the emergency?
I shot my brother-in-law.
Okay, what part of his body is injured?
In the chest.
I'm sorry, where?
In the chest.
Okay, is he awake and responsive or unconscious?
Unconscious.
Okay, is he breathing?
I can't tell.
Okay, are you willing to go over to him and check?
Sure.
Okay, do you just let me know if you see his chest going up and down? How old is he?
It's not moving. He's 60.
Okay, and are you wanting to start CPR?
No, I don't know how to do that.
I can walk you through it.
Okay.
How long ago did this occur? Did it just happen?
Yeah, maybe 5 minutes before I called.
Okay. Okay, were you guys arguing when this happened?
Yeah.
So was he armed also, or just you, or what happened there?
Yeah, he came at me with a bat.
Anyone been drinking or doing drugs or anything today, or no?
I don't know, but I've never seen him that enraged before.
Does he live there with you, or where does he live?
No, he lives in Houston.
He's what, married to your sister? Is she? Where is she? You?
Correct. I don't know. I think she's taking her son to school.
See anything? Any response from him? No?
He's not responding at all.
Throughout this call, Alex is incredibly calm, even jovial. When she asks him, will you go over and see if he's breathing? Sure. That upbeat, okay. He doesn't want to do CPR initially, but almost like a guest who's forced into something, he doesn't know how to politely refuse, so he says okay. And he also gives an awful lot of details for someone that is standing in the room with the bloody body of a man he just shot. He talks about the fact that self-defense. He's never seen Charles like this before. He was enraged. All the themes that he'll cover in his interview. But oftentimes when people share too much on a 911 call, it's a red flag. And definitely a red flag here. Chad Daybell inserts himself into this as well, another shark circling for Charles. A few days after Charles' death, Chad calls a funeral home with an elaborate story in order to get a price on how much it would cost to cremate Charles and ship him to New Orleans as inexpensively as possible. He likes his sick little inside jokes, so again we hear him as he asks for a ballpark price, knowing that Charles was a former semi-pro ball player and there was a baseball bat involved in the whole scene at Lori's house. He also comes up with a whole series of lies, typical for him, in order to explain who he is and why he's calling.
I understand that your uncle passed away?
Yes, and I'm just starting the process for the family. He didn't have many relatives. I'm his nephew. I live in Iowa. But what they want to do, it's sad to see him go. Yeah, I think he's going to the medical examiner. I don't know all the details, but what the family basically wants is just to have him cremated there in Chandler and then have his cremating shipped to New Orleans, and we'll bill up the service later. So just trying to get a ballpark price.
One thing that's always puzzled me about Chad calling the funeral home is why he's doing it at all. Why isn't Lori calling the funeral home? She certainly would have reason to and wouldn't need to make up so many elaborate lies. I don't know if this was Chad's idea of being helpful or a sign of how involved he was. But whatever the case, Chad shows once again what an incredibly smooth liar he is. All of the people surrounding poor Charles were very convincing liars. Our fourth call is Lori calling the same life insurance company that Charles spoke to in March. Now in July, she's calling to file a claim for his $1 million life insurance policy, not realizing that she is no longer the beneficiary. Pay special attention to how she answers the question about how Charles died.
Are you calling in reference to a death claim?
Yes.
May I have the name of the insured?
L. Charles Vallow.
And who am I speaking with?
This is Lori Vallow.
And your relationship to the insured?
He's my husband.
And what was the date of Mr. Vallow's passing?
July 11th.
And what was the cause of his passing?
Well, he was shot.
Okay.
So I don't know how I want to put that.
Okay. All right. And I hate to ask, but is it?
Yeah,
you can just say yes or no. Was it a homicide?
No, it was an accident.
An accident. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you aware of who the primary beneficiary of the policy is?
It's me.
Like her brother Alex, Lori is incredibly calm. The only thing that seems to trip her up is when the representative asks how her husband died, and there's this very long pause, and then she says, "He was shot. I don't know how I want to put that." That's a really interesting phrase. It's not, "I can't talk about it." It's not, "I find it hard to say." I don't know how I want to put that, how I want to frame it, what the story should sound like. And in that long pause, I think she was trying to think how his manner of death might affect the life insurance policy. If she said homicide, would it take longer for her to get the money? I do feel like cheering Charles when I realize that she is in for a very rude awakening. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time very much. And if you've enjoyed this content, I'd appreciate your subscription as well. Please leave a comment below where you're watching from or your thoughts on anything to do with any of the Daybell cases. Or any other cases, I'd love to hear from you. And until we meet again, please use your words wisely. Well, take care.